Welcome to the Daily Exchange. I'm Fred Chibesta, and I'm coming at you live. And we are talking all about Bitcoin going up. The market's growling back. Altcoin, maybe the prophecy did it. Who knows? And we're talking to Zcoin today. My friend Reuben. Well, we'll see you guys right after this. Welcome back, guys. We are back. We're in the land of green. Joel, it's such a happy day today. I'm seeing Bitcoin 7,069, Ethereum almost 300 bucks, EOS at $5.86, up 9.72%, Ripple up, Stellar up, Cardano's up, Dash up. It's up. Everything is up. Even Tether's up. Nano down. Not sure what to say about that. Anyway, we're looking at a good position. 5 to 10% gains. Obviously, it's only been short-lived down the top 100 right now. And still, it's only recent. Now, what exactly is driving this? Some people think there's a prophecy out there. I don't know whether I can or can't talk about it. Joel, it's a very spicy topic. It's involving, I'm not sure how to say it. Adult stars, developers, Las Vegas, and all sorts of different things. Anyway, it's very hard to visually represent exactly what could be driving this market, so we might just leave that to the side for a second. But let me tell you right now, it could be because people have come back from holidays. It could be because this is a volatile market. It could be because we just needed to have some time on our hands and realize that what we're actually doing is not going away and we're going to continue on. It could be all host of reasons, but I tell you what, it's not going to stop. And we're going to keep going with this market and keep going up. Now, let's talk about the shorts right now, because that's obviously one of the topics that obviously drives a lot of this. Actually, by the way, that's not financial advice. We don't know whether it's going to always go up, but let me put that to the side. Shorts have been closing. We're back down to 31,776. You can see in the graph, we're at that all-time 40,000 high, and that's normally where those big short squeezes happen. If you remember back in April, there was that massive short squeeze, and back up here, we're sort of trading back down with shorts. It's been rallying back up, and you can see right now, serious closing. Could we see some more closes and therefore some more rises? It is unclear right now, but it's definitely something to look at. The latest Commitments of Traders, COT report, released by the US Commodities and Futures Trading Commission, suggests that the number of Bitcoin bear traders in the futures market may be starting to die down. All right, moving on to item number 2. Recently, Mr. Roger Ver himself, the man behind Bitcoin Cash, has revealed, if you can, Joel, bring up the video, his portfolio. In CNBC this week. I don't know if you want to roll the piece, Joel. We're just getting that ready.
So what does your crypto portfolio look like right now, Roger?
I hold more Bitcoin Cash than anything else, but I have some Ether, I have some Zcash, some Zcoin, some Monero, some Dash, and I still hold some BTC as well. So a little bit of everything is a good idea, and of course some Ripple and Stellar, and take your pick. Diversify is the name of the game.
So you can see Mr. Ver himself has a lot of Monero, Dash, Zcash, and Zcoin. And it just so happens that these are obviously a lot of privacy coins. How are they different from each other? How does it all sort of break down? We have got my good friend Reuben joining us from Zcoin himself. Reuben, welcome to the Daily Exchange.
Thank you very much. Glad to be here.
Awesome, my man. Reuben is the COO of Zcoin, which is a privacy coin. Now, I just want to break down because there's some. First up, what is a privacy coin, Reuben?
A privacy coin is one that hopes to hide certain elements on the blockchain, because on the blockchain, everything is public. Every single transaction is visible and permanent. And there are many legitimate use cases where you don't want people to know what you're spending on. You don't want people to know how much you have or your wealth. And basically, privacy coins hide or obfuscate like how much people have, who you're transacting with, and that's basically privacy coin in a nutshell.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so it's basically it keeps your transactions private to some extent.
Yep.
Would you say?
I would say that financial privacy would be the general idea, which is protected in our regular banking systems. I can't check into your bank account. I can't see what you're spending on. And similarly with blockchain, we should have that same level of privacy.
Okay, so now, let me just break something down for everyone who's watching, because this is really important. We're going to talk about some important concepts. So we've got a couple of things. I'm just going to write them down as we go as well. We've got Zcoin, which Reuben is here from. We've got Zcash, and we've got PivX. Okay, I just want to write these down for everyone. Zcoin, I don't know if I can bring that up. Zcoin, Zcash, and PivX. Now, Zcoin uses the zero coin protocol. Is that right, Reuben?
Yes, that is correct.
So the zero coin protocol. Zcash uses which protocol?
The zero cash protocol.
The zero cash protocol. And PivX, which is another privacy coin. So Zcoin, Zcash, and PivX are all privacy coins. PivX uses which protocol?
It's also using the zero coin protocol.
Okay, it's the zero coin protocol. I think it's really important everyone gets this. So we've got the Zcoin coin using zero coin. We've got the Zcash using the zero cash protocol, and we've got PivX using the zero coin protocol. So what we're going to talk about when we're talking about these things is Zcoin with Reuben uses the zero coin protocol. That's really, really important. Coins are Zcoin, Zcash, and PivX. And then you've got zero coin and zero cash protocols. That's really important, just basics, because it gets a little confusing, and I apologize to everyone out there, but I think this will help us understand. Tell us now, Reuben, explain, if you can explain, what's the difference between zero coin protocol and the zero cash protocol? So they're the protocols that these privacy coins are running on.
So the zero coin protocol and the zero cash protocol were written by the same researchers, Matthew Green, Ian Mears. These people are working with Zcash. There's some of their scientists as well. And both use zero knowledge proofs. And what zero knowledge proofs are is to prove that you did something without giving out any other information. So for example, in zero cash, you are proving that a transaction has happened without showing, how much was transacted, who you're transacting with. With zero coin, we are proving, so how we protect privacy is that on the blockchain system, you can see the flow of every single transaction. You say A transacts how much to B transacts how much to C, and you can see the entire flow and history of every single coin on the blockchain, which applies to Bitcoin, Ethereum, many other coins. And how Zcoin kind of hides this is by breaking the links between the relationships. And what it allows you to do is by taking a coin and you destroy it, you burn it, it stops existing. But you retain a proof, like a receipt, that you actually burnt it up. And at any time in the future, you take this receipt and redeem for a brand new coin with no transaction history. It looks like a brand new coin. The beautiful thing about this receipt is that the receipt only proves that you have burned the coin, but not which coin you actually burnt. And that is where the zero knowledge proof comes in. Zero cash was meant to be an improvement over zero coin. It has better performance characteristics. It has smaller sizes. That means you can fit more of it on the blockchain. It also has very fast verification times, meaning people can check these transactions and process them very quickly. But I guess the main issue with zero cash...
What are the trade-offs? Tell us, what are the trade-offs between zero coin and zero coin protocol
and zero cash.
Zero cash protocol. What are the trade-offs here?
Zero cash has much better performance than zero coin. That's undeniable. But the main cryptography underpinnings of zero cash are a lot more experimental. A lot of this cryptography is a bit suspect, like, you know, they have, without going into the details, if like the cryptography behind Zcash breaks, the only thing that breaks would be Zcash, because first of all, no one really uses this type of cryptography. And there's some controversial elements of how Zcash was set up. There was a elaborate desert ceremony. You go Google it, like Zcash desert ceremony, and there'll be a really interesting explanation there. Now, Zcoin instead, although it has less performance characteristics, we do use cryptography that is used in all aspects of the internet.
What was this ceremony, Reuben? What was this ceremony you're talking about?
The ceremony is really interesting. So in Zero Cash, I think like 5 or 6 people went into like different parts of the desert to destroy certain parameters, like initial like ingredients. And the idea is that as long as they didn't collude and they all destroyed these parameters will not be leaked to anyone else. And the whole purpose of this was because if anyone had these parameters, it's kind of like a backdoor. It allows people to generate coins out of thin air and no one can detect it. So it's a big backdoor. The ceremony was designed to try and sort of spread out the risks so that these 6 people don't collude, and you have to kind of trust them that they destroyed it properly, and that is a major issue with the Zero Cash protocol as well.
So they're kind of trading off security for performance.
Yeah, I would say using really experimental cryptography to achieve performance. It's kind of like I'm trying to use an F1 car. I can go really fast, but it might break, right? Yeah.
All right, so Zcoin obviously is competing with Monero, Komodo, Navcoin, Verge, Dash, maybe not Verge to some extent.
Yeah.
Mixed emotions about that. Let's not talk about that.
Yeah,
let's remove Verge from that list. Actually, I'm going to remove them from that list. Obviously Zcash as well. And what makes Zcoin unique?
Well, we are the first ones to come up with the Zero Coin protocol. We provide the anonymity set. So basically, like how I explain anonymity sets, because in the blockchain, it's all about hiding what you do, right? With a privacy coin. And anonymity set can be explained simply as, let's say if I want to let out a fart in the room, and I don't want people to know that it was me. If it was only me in the room, it's definitely me who pass win, right? But if I grab like 4 or 5 other people and then pass win, then it could be, oh yeah, it's 1 out of 5 or 1 out of 6, and that's what we call the anonymity set. And what like Monero does, what Dash does, is basically find these other people to fart with. And that's the anonymity set.
Oh, so they've all been fighting together.
Well, so Zcoin's approach is a bit different, where the anonymity set is not just the people that you bring in together in that particular
into
room,
the Dutch oven.
Yes, but everyone who has actually ever been in that room before. And
so the guys are walking out like, it's like when you get off a jumbo 747, and the person who opens the door just lets out a tin of farts.
Yes, yeah. So it's like in and out, you have this very huge anonymity set. It's not restricted to just the people in the room while you are farting. I guess, a very crude analogy, but I think everyone kind of gets it. We also are going to be pioneering technology such as Dandelion, which changes the way transactions are being propagated through the network. If we have time, we can talk about that. But, I think we are primarily a privacy coin. And the other pillar that is really important to us is that we really, really believe in a fair proof of work, where, there's so many like people who think proof of work is wasteful and stuff like that. But it is currently the best way to distribute coins. You want to have a fair distribution as long as the proof of work remains like I can mine it with my home computer. I can mine it, with regular commodity hardware that I can just buy from a shop. Unlike Bitcoin or even Dash or many other coins, which you can't mine it with your computer anymore because it's just too slow. You need to buy specialized machines from Bitmain, and which they have a monopoly over the machines.
Okay. So you don't want anyone to be able to have an advantage. If you still have your old 486 at home, you can spin that up and mine some coins.
Maybe not a 486.
Not the 486, okay.
Yeah. But anyone with a computer, with a decent powered computer, can have a good chance to get some coins.
Okay, so take us through some of the partnerships. You've got some partnership with Boozat, Kukli, Midas Protocol, Pay to Mat, etc. Tell us about those partnerships.
So Zcoin, of course, we want to be a real currency. We don't want just to be like a speculative platform, right? And obviously we don't, we're a lot newer. We don't have the network or the time effect of Bitcoin just yet. And a lot of these partnerships are aimed at driving real use cases of Zcoin merchant adoption. So Boozit is probably the leading online alcohol provider in Malaysia, where you can just order booze online and they deliver it to you. Kukli is quite interesting. They offer like travel cooking experiences where you can learn how to cook on holiday. Midas Protocol is a upcoming like wallet with all this in-platform trading and fiat exchanges with Vietnamese dong and local fiat pairings, which is also important. And Pay to Mat is about making merchants use their existing point of sale systems and making them able to accept cryptocurrencies without having to buy new hardware or things like that. So, we wouldn't go too much in detail, but you can see that all the partnerships that we're making have a drive into making Zcoin a real currency. And one of the things that is really upcoming right now, if we pull it off in the next 1 or 2 months, is that we expect to be able to spend Zcoin almost anywhere in Thailand, which accepts this universal QR code system, which has like a user base of 40 million people. It's called PromptPay.
I guess for working with a privacy coin, what's some of your views on with exchanges like decentralized exchanges versus centralized exchanges? Do you sort of have some views around that?
I do. Decentralized exchanges, because right now there's no decentralized exchanges that work as well as a centralized exchange, especially when it's time sensitive and latency. Like if you use CryptoBridge or many of the decentralized protocols, they still have some way to go, right? And I feel that decentralized exchanges occupy a very important niche where if centralized exchanges fail or there's like a lot of manipulation in centralized exchanges, then decentralized exchanges come to the fore. But in terms of usability, liquidity, right now centralized exchanges of course beat decentralized exchanges. As a privacy coin, I actually believe that a lot of governments, we'll probably talk about this later, they look at privacy coins in a negative light. But with centralized exchanges, you can say, do KYC, do know your customer, do anti-money laundering laws at the centralized exchanges. And that would allow like a nice balance between not allowing illicit activity on privacy coins while allowing the average Joe to use and have their financial transactions protected. But once you move to a decentralized exchange, of course, that would be like a much greater privacy. But it also means that the government totally loses control over how the privacy coins are used. And there's a common saying that if you outlaw privacy, then only outlaws would use privacy, which is not a really good thing as well. Yeah.
So I guess with there's a bit of a debate. I guess governments are a bit concerned with privacy coins. Just sort of take us through privacy coins. Tax evasion, criminal activity, blah, 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 all those kind of things. What's your sort of view on all that? Like, do you think that privacy coins are enabling these kinds of activities?
I actually think that, there's two approaches, right? Governments can either just ban them and hope they just go away, or they can regulate them. Like, as I was saying that if you take a look how money laundering systems work, it's so easy right now. I mean, you have cash, you have casinos, you have even laundromats, and it is not that difficult to launder existing fiat money, US dollars and whatnot. It's very well established, right? Privacy coins don't really actually make it any easier, because when I move it, if I'm assuming that I want people to convert it back to fiat cash, which I think the majority of illegal activity requires that, if you regulate those exchange points, you'll be fine, because then you can do the AML KYC. If you ban it completely, you just move to a decentralized exchange or P2P format. And that, I think, would make it even worse. That means now all these privacy cryptocurrencies just go run amok, and there's no way to control the use of it. So I really think that, privacy coins don't make money laundering or terrorist funding any easier, as long as the exchanges are regulated and privacy coins are allowed. But if they go off the deep end, then yeah, of course, then it would mean only illicit activity is used on privacy coins. So I do think that governments are approaching it the wrong way. Yeah.
So I guess, Japan this year sort of delisted some privacy coins from some of their exchanges.
Mm-hmm.
Are you saying, I guess, that, exchanges should delist some of these coins, or
no?
Or do you think they should upweight their it's on them really to fix their regulation?
No, you should allow the privacy coins to be traded, because when you have a centralized exchange, everyone would trade on the centralized exchange because it's easier. You have the banking pairings. It's easy. It's transparent. And for the average user, everyone's okay with this. I use a centralized exchange. I withdraw to my bank account. Everything's fine. But if I ban these privacy coins, then the only places to trade these markets are decentralized exchanges or P2P exchanges. So I do think that governments should allow the privacy coins on the regulated exchanges, so that the liquidity for these privacy coins are on regulated exchanges.
Gotcha.
And that's where people will trade it or buy it. Yeah.
Gotcha. Lots of bring in the regulation. I guess quantum computing is obviously something, maybe it's a little fantasia right now. What are your sort of predictions on quantum computing and how they will affect privacy coins?
Most of the privacy coins out there right now, I mean, the systems that we use, like Zcoin, which uses RSA cryptography, Zcash that uses ZK snarks, Monero, which uses ring signatures, all will be broken by quantum cryptography. Okay. Now, with Monero, all transactions will be retrospectively exposed, almost as if it's like a transparent blockchain. With Zcash and Zcoin, it's a bit more complicated, where forgery can happen, but the anonymity isn't broken. So that's quite interesting. But, quantum computing has very large ramifications, not just privacy coins. It's just cryptocurrency in general, the signature schemes that, Bitcoin uses, that all cryptocurrency, almost all cryptocurrency users are not quantum resistant. And I think, although it's something that we have to look out for, I do think that we should not be jumping the gun to implement quantum resistant technologies. We should be researching them right now, and giving them a shot, do the academics on it. But a lot of these quantum resistant schemes have a lot of performance drawbacks. So I do think the technology needs to catch up before we start seeing quantum resistant schemes come into play. Yeah.
Cool. Watch out for quantum computing. Reuben, finally, what's coming up for Zcoin? You said you got some dandelion, you got any more ceremonies? Can I come to the ceremony?
Well, we're actually moving so that there's no longer any more ceremony required, which is a good thing, because you don't have to trust anybody.
But can I come anyway? Just you know.
You'd be happy to come to Borneo and see some orangutan.
I would love to come to Borneo. If you invited me to come to Borneo, Reuben, I would pay myself on a plane to come and hang out.
Yes, I will be happy to host you. I have an Airbnb that accepts Zcoin or like cryptocurrencies as well.
I would love to pay in Zcoin. Reuben, do you, but is there any, can we have a Zcoin ceremony, just an anniversary of the ceremony and go into the desert and...
Or jungle, rainforest.
Yeah, into the jungle and...
We can definitely do something like that.
Some sort of prophecy. Zcoin prophecy. Let's make it the Zcoin prophecy.
Oh no, I actually met Romano in Amsterdam. I think he's quite a funny fella.
You like him? You like Romano?
Yeah, I like him a lot. I think he's also a big Zcoin shiller as well.
Zcoin to the moon. Let's go. I guess, yeah, future. Tell us, Reuben, to finish off. Dandelion, you were saying. Give us some quick updates. What can everyone out there expect from Zcoin in the next sort of 3 months?
So Dandelion will probably, we're testing it already internally. So what Dandelion does is that it hides your IP address without you having to use Tor or VPNs and whatnot. Because if you tie an IP address to a transaction, potentially that exposes your privacy. Dandelion was originally meant to be a Bitcoin improvement. It doesn't seem that it will be implemented that soon, and we're going to be the first ones, hopefully, to implement it in the next 1 or 2 weeks. We're going to have some interesting stuff where we have some element of smart contract support, some fiat tether type of systems. And the other thing that we're quite excited about is our wallet revamp, because we want to make privacy easy to use. And right now, like all the privacy coins right now are pretty hard to use. So that's also upcoming. And I think that our biggest update would be our transition to the fair mining thing, where we spent a lot of time and academic research that we also funded to do something called MTP, Mercury Proofs, which allow mining to be ASIC resistant, and yet at the same time resistance against botnets and things like that. But that's a whole topic. So I think that's enough of it in a nutshell. So lots of interesting things. Yeah.
Absolutely wonderful. Reuben, come and join us on the show again. Thank you for joining us for the first time on the Daily Exchange. Absolutely love your insight on privacy coins. And keep up the good work. Please invite me to the next desert ceremony.
Jungle ceremony. Just a quick one. I mean, if you want to buy Zcoin, we're listed on Bittrex, Binance, Huobi. So, we're there on the major exchanges. If you're in Australia, we're on CoinSpot as well. So, definitely, you can get a hold of us and find out more. Drop us our Telegram, and we were really helpful there. And it was a real pleasure being on your show.
Yeah, I think you can read. There's a Zcoin page on Finder, and we list all of the exchanges where you can buy it and read about it. And we'll obviously be able to put this. You guys can obviously jump on and check it out. Reuben, very, very impressive guy. Loving what you guys are doing over there. And big hello to all the Borneo crew. You have a good afternoon, my man.
See you in the jungle.
See you, man. I missed the bell. Okay, let's move on. Talking about volatility right now. Eric, bring up a tweet here. Where is this tweet? Joel, we've got a Twitter storm going on here. Anyway, we've got a bit of a tweet storm coming out. Let's see if I can find this. Apologies for my ERCWL status. Let's see if this works. I am hustling up this. We've got so Eric Wall has done a recent 30 tweet storm. Now let me bring this up. Let me bring this up. Here it is. Okay. We've got. Oh, that's the right one. My apologies. I've got a really bad feeling that our laptop here is going to crash. But we'll try and squeak out. How much percentage do we got? We got 5%. Let's see how we go. Joel just flagging we might lose our laptop in the meantime. But we have a Twitter absolute storm from Eric here. You can see over the last, plenty of coins now are down 90%. So IOTA down 90%, NEO down 90%, Dash, Ripple, sorry, XRP, not Ripple. Walton Chain, Nano, Tron, Cardano, Stratus, Populous, Icon, all down 90%. 90%. That's a big drop. That's a serious drop. Over the last, I guess, yeah, from where they were before. You can see this Twitter storm. Now, there's 30 tweets here, right? But what I want to give you guys is the summary of what's going on here. Is when you're talking about ICOs and the ones that have been out there, some of these, and where they've come from and from what they've gone to and now they've pulled back, I want to give you guys sort of a couple of key points. Number one, always understand the role of the token. What exactly is the token being used for? So what does the token get used for say, XRP? Let's not get into that. Unless you're diving deep, I guess number two, obviously, if you're not going to get into deep trading arbitrage, cryptocurrency is a marathon, not a quick sprint. So have a think about that. Like, which projects are you in for the long term? They're going to go up and down 90%. You're going to have to get used to it. Obviously, you need to do your own research and obviously never put in more money than you're willing to put in. And in his storm, do your own research, obviously, is not obviously just reading the YouTube page. Where do you want to start? So the first thing you want to try and do is you could type in, say, let's say a coin. So you type in, say, find a Zcoin as an example. And what you've got here is how to buy and sell it. We've written all about, interesting news about it and everything you can want to know what's going on about that coin right now. And this page, what we try and do, and what you can do is really dig into, obviously, where you can buy it. We were talking about that with Reuben. But there is literally so much information here about, what's going on with the coin, what's coming up with the coin. And you can go down massive rabbit holes with this. Let me assure you now. And I guess the second thing you want to do is check out Concourse Q. ConcourseQ.io. And again, this is we'll give you warnings about ICOs, which are good or bad. This next one has recently come up, which is interesting. You can view the due diligence on it. Is it a scam? This company has not claimed their profile. So Nex is, I think, a very interesting one right now because they've got the decentralized Neo blockchain exchange. I think it's really interesting. Another one to look at is Crypto Meso. So go and check out if this blockchain has any activity on their GitHub, right? So you can see 0x is continuously making changes. Komodo was being really active, now not so active. EOS had massive activity. Yeah, let's start off a bit, but still continues on a little bit. Tron, still really active. Republic Protocol, you can see nulls, sort of no activity since May. Archain, starting to move. Lots of activity. Cardano, there are real projects out there, and you could really get a real read on what's going on behind the scenes by looking at this. I guess OnChainFX is another great way to look at a coin because it gives you a different way to look at it because they have different supply issuances, they have different market caps, they give you the market cap in 2050. I think this is another way to look at these different coins, and they give you a different ordering because of that. You can see, like we were talking about before, Zcash and Zcoin will probably be down here. I think it's position 90 or so, isn't it? Let's have a look. Zcoin, yeah, so Zcoin's at 55, whereas on CoinMarketCap, they're positioned around, what is their positioning? On Zcoin, 94. So 94 versus 54. And the reason for that is the way in which the actual calculation of the overall supply and the market cap is done. That's really important. So check those details out. There's a little details that will give you more insight as to how much supply is going on out there. Crypto Cal is another great one to check out. Now this is a, it's got, I guess, give you information on It's a calendar, so you've got CoinMarketCal and Crypto Calendar, but it talks about airdrops, forks, and when those things are coming up. It'll give you key dates. So you can see there's an exchange listing here coming up. You can see a new white paper release. Stella's got a hard fork coming up, potentially in 22 coming up. That's super spicy. Super spicy. Stella with a hard fork. Woo-wee. Interesting. Another one is you want to look at is coinsocialstory.com. And it's a great way to track social sentiment about the coin, right? You can see the price, the index, social, the followers on Twitter. You can see the tweets and the replies. You can see the subreddit followers. You can see in terms of how much development there was. You can see the network usage. You can see all sorts of different things here, right? You can see exactly what's going on behind the scenes of a particular coin. Really interesting stuff. And a great way to determine whether or not a coin is going to drop in like completely 9% and fall off a hill, because you'll see the activity. You'll see what's going on behind the scenes, and you'll understand exactly what's going on. Check out the team as well behind a coin. That's another great way to have a look at. Have a look at the subreddit, have a look at the Telegram. But I think this social one's a really interesting one. And I guess, how many forks there were and things like that. Very interesting stuff. This is obviously a lot of information, and I apologize. We try and bring this as much as possible together on Finder. We're still working really, really hard in our cryptocurrency section to do it. But these are some places to start, and I encourage you to check them out get some education around the coins, because I think it's now time, while we're starting to go up, to choose what projects you're going to back. Through that bear market, you can really see the ones that actually were doing something and actually weren't. So check them out. All right, guys, we'll do one final check on Z prices and where we are at. Bitcoin trading at $7,053, Ethereum at $294, EOS at $5.88, Ethereum Classic at $13, Bitcoin Cash at $561, Ripple at 34 cents, Litecoin at $62, Ontology is really moving. And IOTA as well, up 12.5%. Wow, it's really moving. Ontology, $2.64, and IOTA at 67 cents. Thanks very much for watching, guys. The Daily Exchange. We are going to be back tomorrow. And do subscribe, do follow us, and thanks so much for Reuben joining us from Zcoin, the Daily Exchange. Yeah!